talk about your unexpected surprises.
Oh, what happened?
Well, what began as a bit of a rage in my, I believe, last 2 podcasts, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
I had some issues with a story known as Tate no Yusha no Nariagari, or Rise of the Shield Hero.
For those of us who aren't weeboos. Just kidding.
And the translation project had been cancelled. And apparently the translators didn't like it.
And so they decided to keep translating.
They decided to protest and keep translating, regardless of the site, and for a while they were able to get away with it.
But unfortunately for Adia's hopes...
I am about to axe kick you so hard!
I wouldn't be surprised that there isn't like some clip art somewhere of Adia trying to do that to ring a bell.
Well, it would be a roundhouse kick at that point.
No, not for ring a bell's hopes.
Now I'm picturing Adia.
She knows that he would do that. He knows that he would be looking forward to that. I think she would deny him the pleasure.
Yeah.
Only after the second time.
Yeah, after she figures it out. But anyway, Tate no Yusha no Nariagari is now facing cessation. But there is a ray of hope in this.
Oh?
And that is that the translation is coming to U.S. shores.
Oh, really now?
Yes, so I'll be able to support this with actual money. I was really looking forward to seeing how the story plays out, and if they are going to go ahead and translate it officially, I'll gladly support that.
All right then. So
okay. Shoot, I hijacked this. Welcome to the Legend Harvest Podcast. 1 minute and 58 minutes in.
2 minutes in.
Well, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was part of my week. How are you guys doing?
I could be better, to be honest. Getting sick in the middle of the week is not a very good way to do it. And it's not just the allergies anymore. There's some sort of stomach flu going around.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people getting hit with that. My sister, my teachers at school, friends at school, my sister's teachers, and yada yada. It was like a pandemic.
I'm surprised my mom isn't sick, considering she's a teacher as well.
It's pretty terrible, but I've been doing okay. I've managed to go ahead and put some hours into Brawl. I've been mainly actually working on Ike and Palutena, which I didn't show off when we were playing the last time.
Yeah, you did. You've been practicing a lot against those level 9 CPUs. It's kind of worrying.
To be fair, when we played, I had only played that the night before, so I hadn't done much practicing. I practiced with Palutena a lot more now. I find that despite her limited basic moveset, you can do a lot with her smashes and her tiltates.
Tiltates. Okay.
Yeah, especially the up tilt, which a lot of the aerial up tilt, which I don't think a lot of people give credit to, which is it's her halo that causes damage, but because of her mobility, she can actually launch people up from the ceiling, which unfortunately Zero you found out during our last match.
Yeah, that was bullshit.
I think that was the. I think you were playing Bowser at that time, and I think you were playing Ganondorf at that time, Legend. Because I think that was the heavy. I think that was the.
That was the heavy match.
Yeah, the
right.
heavy match. I believe I won that one though.
Yes, but just barely because I had almost gotten you.
Yeah. What ended up happening was I did a Ganondorf up B special, and at the end of that is a little punch. Zero's character Bowser was already at incredible damage levels, and at the level that I was at, I'm pretty sure I would have also been launched. But what ended up happening was a trade that happened off-screen where I punched Zero's Bowser in the ass, got face slammed into the ground, and sent him flying into the stratosphere.
Yeah, so I tried to do a butt bomb on you.
And I punched the butt bomb into outer space.
I still don't know how that happened.
Yeah, it was a really crazy trade, I'll tell you that.
It was glorious.
What else? Over my absence from video games, I purchased Mega Man X's 4 and 5 for the PS3, and I basically ran through both of those over the past 2 weeks. It was pretty good, pretty fun. I enjoyed. I love those two games, so I ran through them pretty easily on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah, out of the three of us, I noticed you have the best platforming out of either of us.
Yeah, because I did almost nothing but exclusively platformers for the longest time as a kid.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't get into RPGs until a lot later, so platformers are my bread and butter as far as games are concerned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember they were my first games too. Though.
Also, went ahead and restarted Fire Emblem Awakening, restarted Pokemon Platinum, playing through the oldies but goodies again.
Yeah, you said you had plans to replay every single Pokemon game.
Yeah, I always do that, and I always love replaying them again. The ones that I love replaying the most, though, are Platinum and White, because those two have really good stories as far as each of the games are concerned.
I didn't give you that.
Yeah,
I will
they
give you
do.
that.
I do feel that they have the better stories out. Because even 6, it was pretty, but it had Gen 6 was pretty, but
It lacked meat.
it
I
lacked
feel like.
meat. I mean,
It lacked the real core
Emotion.
elements.
There was a certain tension at 5 that I just don't think 6 ever replicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And I actually am going to be playing Pokemon Y, especially because the Pokebank makes it much easier to save your Pokemon.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm going to be hopefully doing that when I get a little bit more free time.
Right.
Other than that, just been doing a lot of stuff. Knickknacks here and there and getting stuff ready for the Ravenloft, which I know we didn't do a video for it, but this is the video for it. I know we said we were gonna do a video for the last
Podcast.
Well, we were gonna do a separate video because we didn't have time in the last podcast.
Yeah, consider that one was 2.5 hours long.
But we fucked that up. We couldn't get enough time, so fuck it. We're gonna do it this time.
Okay.
And we have and it's funnily enough because by the time this goes up, we will have already completed another Ravenloft sessions by that time. So,
yeah, it's because we're recording once again on Thursday.
well, because we have the Ravenloft session on Saturday. But either way, we're going to have plenty of Ravenloft to come along. It's going to be ending probably by the end of June, so early July. But I think we're going to have a very fantastic conclusion.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. I have a feeling our GM's going to be pulling out all the stops.
And so are we.
Zero, what have you been up
Perhaps
to?
Knuckles.
Well, let's see. My past couple of weeks have been kind of busy. For starters, we have now officially finished our Let's Play of Dark Souls. Recording it, that is. It's still going to be posted Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But it's been finished. I have finished editing it. I have 4 more videos to upload. 5 more videos to upload. My mistake.
Okay.
But it's just 5 more videos and it's done. And in the comments, guys, why don't you tell us what you want us to see us play?
How appropriate that the one of the most ball-busting games of the modern age ends on a Monday. The playthrough, the LP ends on a Monday. How poetic is that?
Now, if
Garfield would be proud.
you might be asking, why aren't we releasing it a little more like day-to-day sort of thing?
Well, for one, I only get the best internet upload speed on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
That's
and
one
second,
thing.
because fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Well, I did want to post it up faster, but I just couldn't find a good time to do it. And it's still awkward that I'm posting the finale on a Monday.
I know, because again, it's a Monday. No one expects that.
Yeah.
And it would just be plain torture to post it on a Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll run with what we've got.
Yeah, so other than that, I've been busy with school, which is starting to wind down, or should I say wind up, with
Yeah.
finals coming.
I feel that.
I've got a lab project I gotta do in my ethics class.
Enjoy.
And yeah, I'm going to have to find time in between classes to actually work on that. I've got a presentation to do on a journal article in my other class,
Right.
which I have to do a 20-minute PowerPoint. With
20 minutes.
with discussions.
Well, the
Doesn't
discussion's
sound like
not-
a bad thing.
It doesn't sound. It isn't that bad. But 20 minutes is
Thankfully, the
pretty-
professor's helping me on this one.
Okay.
She's the one who gave me the article for the presentation, so that's half the work done.
Okay. Okay.
Other than that, gaming-wise, a little this, a little bit of that, but mainly I just started playing Final Fantasy IV again, the 3DS version.
As you put it before, the ball buster version.
Yeah, because a few changes, You know what I've noticed? Final Fantasy IV is the most remade Final Fantasy game ever.
There are a lot of remakes for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not just remakes, but revamps of it, as far as the graphics and even the story goes.
Yeah, and I think I know why. It was the first Final Fantasy to actually have characters that we could care about.
Yeah.
It was the second one released in the States, technically.
And I did care about the characters. I actually felt genuine empathy for these characters.
When I really got into Final Fantasy, I played it much farther since when that kerfuffle was getting out. The first one I actually played was 9, and I played 9 and 10, and I didn't go back to it until I started with the classic series. So I actually played 1, 2, 4, then 3, and then I never bothered with 5 or 6. But I didn't really understand why 4 was a lot of hoopla compared to 2, because 2 had a heavier story and it had a lot more interesting. Because you guys actually like gathered clues, like it was an adventure game as far as like keywords and whatnot. To ask
I
hints.
kind of like that.
I
know a lot of people don't like the Game Boy Advance version called Dawn of Souls.
I love Dawn of Souls. I don't know what these people are talking about.
I know. I've heard people have mixed feelings about Dawn of Souls. Mainly, I don't know. But anyway, yeah. My first Final Fantasy game, 10.
I hate you.
I still like it. Shut it.
Was that a Goofy laugh or a Titus laugh?
I don't think Goofy would be very happy about that one.
No, he wouldn't.
Anyway.
Anyway, so yeah, I played Final Fantasy X.
Stereo guys? Really?
Ay. Anyway, I played 10 first. Then I went back all the way to the beginning to 1 and 2 with Dawn of Souls. Then I had 3. Well, I didn't play 3 until much later, until they came with the DS. I played 4, enjoyed it. I played 5. I actually like 5 a little bit more than 4.
Yeah, I can see why. If I've never played 5, but people said that Bravely Default reminded them of 5, and I can see why.
Because 5 had the
5 did have
had stable characters but interchangeable
job
classes, and it was better than 3 because 3 the characters' stories were more just slapped in at the end.
Yeah, especially
versus being integrated. Like I think one of the bigger twists from that game was Ferris, the pirate.
Yeah. How? Well,
And
should we spoil it or?
I mean,
It was his sled.
It was his sled, yeah.
Okay, so what is this thing?
Ferris is one of the instances of female pirate dressing as a male pirate to be more badass.
Yeah.
Because that trope is older than even that game.
Yeah, it is.
It is. So, but I mean, it's not a surprise to anyone who's familiar with the trope or who is familiar with the Final Fantasy series.
Okay.
Yeah. So, other than me playing Final Fantasy IV again, I'm trying to get back to play Majora's Mask. I haven't had time to. God damn it.
Yeah, you've had a lot on your plate.
Yeah, and also just recently I had just sent my old Game Boy, my old 3DS, as well as Pokemon Y and Omega Ruby to my boyfriend.
Ah.
Cost me $40 to ship the damn thing.
Well, we can't shit on you now for having a copy of both Generation 6 games and not using them.
Yeah.
At least we can't shit about you on that now.
Yes, now you can. So, yeah, he now has it, and hopefully he'll be able to play it, and maybe I can trade and do battles with him.
All right.
And kick his ass.
Oh, you.
Well, he has to play a Pokemon game since, like, the first one.
Well, you have to go ahead. You have to work him through the tiers first. You got to start him off at PU, then NU, then RU, and then UU, and maybe you can push him into borderline then. But I wouldn't start it at OU right away, Legend.
Oh, that's where I started. Hell, I
You're
started
ruining the
Uber.
pun.
Hell, I was going Uber on this one.
You ruined the pun.
I couldn't even follow
Your
that.
puns are overused.
I'll follow.
Stop doing physical.
Objection, sir.
Stop doing physical gestures in an audio podcast. You twits.
That joke will
Alright.
never end.
All right, so now that we've gotten the how our weeks have, or do you have a little bit more to talk about?
Well, there was just one other thing. I mean, I did start with the Shield Hero, but there was one other thing that I did.
Oh,
and that was playing the crap out of Monster Hunter.
Gee, are we starting to repeat ourselves now?
Oh, no.
It's official.
This is...
He's addicted.
I could almost say I'm addicted. But here's an update. I recently got onto the online circuit. And that came with some pleasant surprises. At the time of the day, I was playing with the time that the Europeans were getting home from their work. So I ended up playing with a European crowd, which meant that I was talking with people who spoke German and French. The German dudes were pretty cool. We actually went out there, we caught a monster. And I don't mean just kill one, I mean we actually caught it, and I was a meaningful member.
Cool.
The French dudes, on the other hand...
We fought in your general direction.
Good God, if that isn't what happened. The guys were assholes, for one, and I'm pretty sure at the end of it, one of them was trying to hit on me. I have no idea.
As the greatest trollers of the 21st century.
How is it that you can do a better French accent than me and my own mother is French?
I don't know. You have to speak to your nose and have a seat over lip.
That was
And then I start to transition to the German and the Austrian. And that is my problem with speaking with accent characters. I tend to switch ethnicities mid-sentence.
Oh, it's going to be fun when I have to play as Mikhail in our Ravenloft sessions.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is going to be fun.
Da. How the hell do I do a German accent?
I don't know, but you're going to have to figure it out, yeah?
So I'm going to have to find my little angry German dude inside?
I don't think you'll have to look very far.
Jawohl.
Jawohl, Herr Doctor.
Oh my God. Okay, now that's out my system.
Enough voice acting, let's get on to the meat of the
Get on with it!
Yes, so starting off with...
The douchebag of the week.
Yep.
Okay, so this one... Holy shit, this one.
The ESA says that saving old games is the same as hacking.
Bullshit.
So every single...
No. Now, normally when I write these titles, and you guys read these out, normally I put these because it's a funny little twist. I'm not twisting it this time. This is as plain text as I can get it.
This is as black and white idea as possible.
Yeah, it's... So, basically, this is a feud between the Entertainment Software Association and the Electronic Frontier Foundation. The latter of which is a digital rights group that is basically does a lot of digital freedom stuff. And so the deal here is that the ESA is interpreting that the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which is the copyright protection off of CDs and discs and whatnot.
Yeah.
Basically, was created to create legal difficulty for those who modify games to keep them working after the servers they are needed to shut down. This can be legally, again, not an attorney, but for those of people who understand the lingo, this can be extrapolated to say that keeping games beyond their intended life cycle violates this act.
So in other words, if you're like at a gaming museum...
No. Even if it's something like, let's say you keep your old systems, anything from the NES to a PS2 that's out of circulation, it's comparable to hacking a server for shits and giggles.
What?
Bullshit!
Or outright modding, as to say. And
so me owning PS2 games.
Under this interpretation, it is
Bullshit.
The primary one in layman's terms, quote the article from Polygon. Let's say you own a gaming museum or even just a large personal collection that has historic value. When a publisher shuts down the online servers, you may want to hack the console hardware to allow it to continue to keep playing. In this way, online-only games and modes wouldn't be lost forever. But according to the EFF, this isn't legal, which is why we asked for a special exception. So it basically is saying that because of the fact that you're doing this beyond the beyond the lifespan, it basically violates the 1998 Digital Millennium Act.
God damn it.
Now keep in mind that that laws are supposed to be black and white.
Yeah,
And
I've never seen a law that's black and white.
And that's why they get edited and revised over time. It's not supposed to be permanent. Even there's a famous quote somewhere saying that even Thomas Jefferson believed that the Constitution should have been edited every once in a while, and that's another debate. That's another debate for another podcast.
You know what?
But the idea is that this is stupid because it would basically mean that every video gamer who keeps and maintains their own hardware would have violated the Digital Millennium Copyright Act by simply keeping their old stuff in maintenance.
Oh man, this does remind me. But this is slightly related, but slightly not related. It's a bit of Halo 2 history.
Oh.
Okay, when the recent Halo games came out,
Uh-huh.
they decided that they would have to shut down the Halo 2 servers. But a small group of individuals decided, we love the game so much, and you know what, we can't just let this go so easily. So they did a sort of, well, how do I put it? A sort of last stand for Halo 2.
Oh, really?
Yes. When the server went down, officially, it kept on going for at least 48 additional hours.
Really?
On that day. The reason was because of the small group of individuals who did not sign off of their Halo 2 server. They didn't sign off, and because of that, it kept on perpetuating.
So basically, it's the video game version of the Hanukkah miracle. It was the server that was supposed to last until this day, and it lasted 2 days more.
Yeah, it lasted 2 days more.
That's what I'm saying. It's the Hanukkah miracle.
Well, it's more like they did a stand-in and try to.
I still say Hanukkah miracle, but whatever.
Yeah, and I recall that the people there were very, very close, and they just kept talking to each other and just kept on perpetuating the game. They didn't really even shoot at each other. They just kept playing the game until one by one they either had to turn off or they were kicked off one by one until the last guy was there on the very last second of the Halo 2 server, just watching all his friends go away.
Yeah.
It was... when I heard about that, I was moved to tears. But with this movement against protecting these games, after seeing something like that, after seeing someone go through that, and I mean, they were going 48 hours, not sleeping, not anything, keeping the game running.
Yeesh. They probably may have just left it on and walked away for a second to take a nap or something.
Or they took turns keeping the thing going.
Yeah.
It was honestly a very superhuman effort.
That being said, there has been no legal action yet. No one's being sued. No one's being hauled into jail because of this. But this is a discerning thing should it ever go to court.
If that's the case, then basically every gamer in the United States would be considered a felon.
And that's kind of part of the problem with it, is that it's so overreaching with that interpretation that it unfortunately would incur major costs that would that either require. I mean, it would be insane.
And I'm pretty sure that no one in Congress wants to deal with this shit.
Well, again, I wouldn't say that, but I would say that it's very unreasonable and I would say very, very costly. So time will tell to see go ahead how this plays out.
Ugh.
Okay.
So let's move away from that downer to
X-Bone.
Oh boy.
So this was a story that continually got updated, and eventually this is what it came out to.
Okay.
So the X-Bone has an issue where it drains the fuck out of energy, and this is because the X-Bone has the voice recognition software, which makes it turn on an instant by just saying Xbox on.
Yeah.
That was the gimmick from the start with this thing. The problem is that this, compared to all the other new gen systems, costs the most power. So
you
much
should be able to disable that, right?
so much so that the National Resources Defense Council told Microsoft, install a power conserve system on your Xbone Ones. You're costing us too much goddamn money.
Holy fuck!
Holy
So
crap!
eventually,
indeed.
Microsoft did set up a energy saving setting which has a slower startup time and preempts automatic updates, but basically goes ahead and puts it in a power saving mode so it doesn't sap all your electricity. Unfortunately, the NRDC did not say that was enough. Apparently, the cost of having the cost of American users keeping an Xbox One online over the entire country, $250 million a year in unnecessary electrical bills.
Holy whoa!
Yeah.
So another reason for me not to get an Xbox.
It fucks over your electricity bill, yes.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure my dad would not appreciate that.
And according to the article, it says anywhere between an extra $33 to $75 depending on where you live.
Oh shit!
Which over the typical lifespan of 5 years is enough for enough for more than enough for an extra game or two. I'm pretty sure that's like oh no, it's $33 to $75 over the 5 years, so enough for an extra game in that period.
Yeah.
You know, I've said it before on this podcast. I'll say it again. The only thing Microsoft ever made that didn't suck was a vacuum cleaner.
It doesn't. Every week it seems like there's something more we can poke fun at the Xbone for.
Why do you think I'm a Mac user?
Okay, so
There you go.
Shots
Okay.
fired.
This oh god, this one.
This next. Oh, the next one on this one.
Oh, I laughed. I had to laugh.
Candy Crush obsession leads to torn tendon. Okay, so this sounds like an old wives' tale turned bad. I can't
It finally happened.
I present to you the slow clap of pure joy.
A 29-year-old man suffered a torn tendon in his left hand after playing Candy Crush Saga for all day for 6 to 8 weeks straight.
Serves the fucker right.
This
For playing Candy Crush or for playing Candy Crush for that long?
Both. Seriously, fuck Candy Crush.
so he had chronic left thumb pain and loss of active motion in his left thumb from playing so goddamn long. In fact, that they titled the article in which they discussed his injury, tendon rupture associated with excessive smartphone gaming.
Mm-hmm. But the funny thing was the article also listed a lot of positive effects that gaming had, which was odd.
Yeah,
but
it
reasonable.
It was, again, very interesting that this, if there's anyone here who's like Zero who believes that smartphone gaming is the spawn of the devil, this is probably the case that confirms that statement to you.
Yeah.
So that is the official prognosis all day for 6 to 8 weeks in order to go ahead and break your thumb.
I heard someone almost died for playing Skyrim for a week.
No, I mean, there's a lot of other incidents. I know that in North Korea, there's a dude who played StarCraft for 3 days straight and died after.
Not North Korea, South Korea, right?
Well, it was in one of the Koreas because that's big there. Yeah,
I would think it would be South Korea because North Korea is kind of Mordor at this point.
Fair enough. Either way, a Korean died after a 3-day gaming binge in which they literally died in their seat. And this was not in their home. This was in a public gaming arcade or a computer cafe.
Oh, that's gotta be
fucked.
fucked. That's gotta be fucked up. You gaming, and all of a sudden, and the guy right next to you just flumps over, and like, holy shit, is he dead?
Well, I think the weirder thing, you said he died in the seat, right?
He died in the seat.
Yeah.
So what I'm imagining when you say that is like those Buddhists who would they would seal the Buddhist in the
sitting statue.
in the sitting statue, and through meditation he would preserve himself and self-mummify.
Yeah.
And he did this at StarCraft.
Oh, fuck, guys!
That is.
I'd expect that shit from Zero, not you, Legend.
Oh, you cannot fathom the darkness. I assure you.
Shit, bust out the socket. What dark one for Legend? Jeez.
I'm pretty sure you just failed a Dark Powers check, Legend.
How many would that make at this point?
About 7.
I mean, after I butchered a baby, I'm pretty sure I sold my soul to the devil.
There's more. There are many doubles.
We'll get to that later.
Oh, there's not just one.
Anyway,
For now, next on our list of news bullshit.
Yeah, we're finally out of we're finally out of the douchebag of the weeks because this next story is actually kind of hilarious. Or even
Well,
more,
the last one.
even more than the last one because this one. I know we try not to get political here on the Legend Hunters, but this one was too good to pass up. Blizzard sanctions Crimea by pulling the WoW servers down.
Fuck you, Putin. I don't know the freaking words. I don't know the freaking words. Kiss my freaking ass. Hey!
What are you even singing?
Moscow, Moscow.
I don't know the freaking words. I don't know the freaking words. Yeah.
So obviously, for those of you who are sticking your head in the ground for about 6 months, because in Ukraine, there's a part of not in Ukraine. Sorry, there's a small Eastern European continent called Crimea, which was once a part of the USSR and was recently taken over / annexed by Russia.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, the rest of the world did not like that idea, and so they started putting trade sanctions on both Russia and Crimea.
So no trade to those countries, no trade from those countries will be accepted.
So starting as of April 8th, Blizzard blocked users from Crimea from accessing game servers in Blizzard. This is part of the late December ban by President Barack Obama to order a ban of the export of good technology and services to Crimea.
Nice.
So, World of Warcraft has said, fuck you, Putin.
Yep. Let's just pray he doesn't suddenly, his secret squad of assassins don't come to this building.
Led by the man himself.
Riding a fucking bear.
I would not be
No,
surprised.
he'd be riding freaking Deathwing.
I'm pretty sure Russian biotechnology has not reached that state yet.
That you know of.
That we know of.
That we know of.
Okay, the next story is much more uplifting and much less comedic. 12-year-old girl takes on the video game industry for the lack of free female characters.
And I would say I actually was surprised, and I do appreciate this moment.
Legend, you know the story a bit better. Why don't you go and take care of it?
Okay, so basically, this 12-year-old girl...
Legend, you might
Speaking
get...
to the mic!
Yeah, you might
That's
not
why I
wandering around.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so, this
She was
12-year-old
motioning a
girl...
big fuck you in case you couldn't hear the non-verbal description.
Anyway, continue, Legend.
Cutting that out.
No.
Okay, so this 12-year-old girl, she goes ahead and does a sort of little research project after she finds a somewhat troubling lack of free female characters. Most of the female characters were hidden behind a paywall. And in one egregious case, in Disney's case no less,
It was $30.
yes, $30 for a female character.
In a free-to-play game.
She brought this up, and
It was published by the Washington Post.
it was published by the Washington Post.
Washington Post and NPR.
Well, this reached the ears of God. In other words, the creators of the Temple Run game that she was originally basing this on. And the Temple Run owners looked at this, and instead of throwing around the salt, which I've seen too many video game industries do, it's been
played out.
It's played out. It's all that.
Just throwing salt's just going to make you look like an asshole.
Yes,
And it's going to hurt people's eyes.
yes. So I was expecting something like that. But as it turns out, the Temple Run people were actually very cool with this. And they agreed with her to say, yeah, there are very few games that actually include female free characters. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a free-to-play female character for our new Temple Run games, and we're naming her after you, Maddie. So, yeah.
And I
That
even heard
was-
that Disney is repricing or remove the $30 for that one female character.
Yes.
So even Disney listened, and usually they don't listen.
Well, you'd be surprised what reaches Disney's ears. You'd be surprised what reaches the ears of the high-ups.
True, although keep in mind I still picture Disney as a completely soulless conglomerate.
You can say whatever you like. You have your...
I'm surprised anti-Semitic was left out the list, but let's move on.
That's for
That's another
discussion.
story.
Yeah.
But, yeah, those are really, really sweet moments that this 12-year-old girl is actually leaving a mark in the video game industry.
That's pretty good. Kudos to her.
Kudos to her, and you know what? I might just pick up Temple Run myself.
You see? Positive publicity creates positive feedback.
Alright, so what's next on our list?
My favorite topic ever.
Oh, so this is from Gaijin Goomba?
Oh boy, I think I'll leave this one to you, Leo.
Hashtag Boobsnotblood. And for once, I'm actually being serious here.
Oh god, if I didn't hate Twitter so much, I wouldn't mind this.
But in all fairness, you say that, but you're gonna like this next story.
Well, I know the premise of the story. It's just that I hate the whole hashtag culture.
The idea is to go ahead and spread the rumor as quickly as possible,
Fair
and
enough.
Unfortunately, Twitter is the best way to do that nowadays. But here's the story. This came up through Gaijin Goomba's YouTube page. He posted this video this past Tuesday, and basically, this is what happened. We talked, I think it was last week, or last podcast, or 2 podcasts ago, about a Sengoku Basara clone that basically featured an all-female cast.
Yeah.
Right.
And the game also featured clothing destruction gimmicks, because why not Japan?
Yeah, it's Japan.
Yes. So, unfortunately, this game was banned from Steam Greenlight because of the overall sexual overtones.
And yet, I've seen graphic novels on Steam that are basically hentai.
Well,
Well, not only
not
that,
just that,
but the fact that
but
they're
we've
allowing
all-
stuff like...
But we've covered Hatred, which was the ultra-violent, super grotesque shoot 'em up,
where you're
which
killing.
Gabe Newell apologized for accidentally removing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is really what grinded Goomba's gears. He basically breaks down into the video on how, specifically in America, because Japan doesn't have this option, this issue as much, but basically how America has this issue where violence is okay to be seen as mature, but any sexual content must be AO.
Basically demonized.
And has to be put on a separate pedestal compared to violence, which is odd considering how far we've come since 1992, which was roughly I think it's 1990 when the ESRB was established, about the time Mortal Kombat 2 came out.
Yeah, I think so. Then again, I was barely a fetus back then.
I'm a bit rusty on the exact date, but it's around the early 90s that the ESRB came around.
Yeah.
But the point of the video, despite the fact that Gaijin Goomba's character is firmly stuck between an anime character's boobs. Besides that, the fact that he wants to bring about is that let's go ahead and treat sex and violence equally in terms of their rating. Let's not make one more demonized than the other. Let's treat them on the same level. And I want to hear what you guys have opinions about that.
I kind of have to agree with Gaijin Goomba, because despite myself being kind of angry whenever Leo does a nasty, dirty pun, I'm okay.
That shit-eating grin on Leo's face speaks volumes.
The amount of shit I've said that has not been recorded can fill volumes of biographies.
It's a wonder I haven't punched that face in.
It's a wonder that you haven't made a biography about why you haven't punched my face in yet.
Why I haven't punched Leo's face? A Dead Zero audio biography.
You could be a freaking bestseller with those. Fuck the Harry Potter series. The adventures of our stupid antics would make the top 50.
Yeah.
God damn it.
We digress.
Anyway, I'm actually okay with sexual content.
Hence Zero's favoritism with Bayonetta.
Okay.
I don't find Bayonetta to be either over-sexualized or over-violent. I find her to just be a great character. I find that that's her personality, and she rolls with it, and she's happy doing it.
Alright.
And to that I say, more power to ya.
Alright. In my case, I'm a bit more... I like to remain neutral on most subjects, mainly because I want to find out all the facts before I jump into any side or whatnot. Because I've actually run into problems with that before.
Yeah.
And it cost me a lot of happiness. But, yeah, I would say that in this regard, I've always found that if content was presented in a way that actually evoked some meaning, that didn't hurt anyone, and that was presented in a way that really does make an impact. In other words, if it's good, if the content is good, regardless of what it is, heck, even a good porno, if it has a decent plot to me, if it has excellent characters, if it has a brilliant story, if it is engaging and isn't just TNA,
Yeah.
then I will actually find value in it beyond the fact that it's a porno. But other than that, I find most of it shit. So if it isn't shit, I say go with it.
I'm also kind of a firm believer in the whole freedom of expression idea. Like, art is a means of expression, and despite how sleazy it is, porn is still technically art. It's still video. It's still film.
But
It's still illustrations. It's still...
Yes. But I should also point out that I'm not exactly promoting porn. I should say that we shouldn't promote it. There's a lot of horrible stuff there. We don't want to go there.
You know, you're talking to the guy on the furry site, right?
And for me, it breaks down to this: there are sexual things that can be portrayed at an R-rated, at an R-rated, or an M-rated level for games.
Oh, of course.
And then there is sexualized stuff that should be portrayed only on an AO title.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the same time, we need to exercise the same level for violence.
Yes.
There are violence that can be portrayed at an M-rated level.
Yeah.
Right.
But there also is violence that needs to be limited to the AO-rated level.
If that's the case, Mad World will be considered AO.
No.
No.
I think we have to step back and look at it at a modern point of view, because one of the things I did forget to mention is I did watch some of the new Mortal Kombat footage that came out for this past week.
Yeah?
The new Mortal Kombat, and I gotta say, some of those fatalities, yeah, they're pretty disgusting, even for me, despite me being desensitized for quite a few. There's two I'll particularly talk about. One, it features a new female character who breaks the character's jaw with a nightstick. The character is stunned with the jaw hanging slightly out, and then in an act of ultimate humiliation, takes a selfie with the character and posts it on the Mortal Kombat version of Facebook.
Ooh.
Called Friendships.
That is nasty.
And
Talk
then
about salt in the wound.
and then the other one, which is, oh god, this is pretty terrible. Features a character with magic powers lifting the character up, breaking the spine by twisting the body in two ways, and then pulling the small intestine out through the mouth, dragging the small intestine, the large intestine, the stomach, and the esophagus, yanking it out, crushing it into a mushy ball paste, and dropping it.
That is the definition of squick.
Oh, let me guess. This is in high-def graphics.
Yes, it is.
And it's rated mature. Now that I would consider AO.
That's when you were talking about internal organs being used to play jump rope, as the expression goes in a certain cartoon.
Yeah.
Cheese for everybody.
We've become desensitized to violence to the point where we're allowing it to get a lot more of the way, but because of America's demonization of sexuality, we have a hard ban on that, even as far as video games go.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can see where the double standard exists. I think we need to step out and take a look back at things, because I think there are some things that should be allowed as far as M-rated goes, and I think there are things that should only be AO regardless.
If I recall, I did see a clip from Mortal Kombat 10 where one character actually punched the guy in the nuts so hard that it zoomed
the nuts
turned into a fine red mist.
No. They actually this is an actual medical term, but they literally punched him back into his body.
And then she smacks his head.
Smacks his head with the she basically pistol whips him with two guns to the sides of the head before flipping them into her hand and firing two shots into the skull.
And you see the skull fracture when she pistol whips him.
With both the whips and the shots.
All right, I think we are starting to digress a little bit.
Yeah,
But the point
But the
remains.
point remains.
Let's have equal treatment for boobs and blood.
Yes, ecchi is not hentai.
as much as some people like to believe.
Yes.
See Kenichi for further reading.
Now let us continue.
Okay,
Into more rage.
as in Angry Joe.
Okay, Zero,
well,
you're
this is not
familiar.
our
You're
rage.
familiar with Angry Joe. Why don't you go and talk about him for a little?
Well, I'm not super familiar with Angry Joe. I have seen his stuff.
But you're more familiar than either of us.
Yeah, he's a reviewer. He reviews games, and lately he's been getting a lot of problems with the YouTube copyright law shit.
Especially with Nintendo.
Yeah, for some reason Nintendo is targeting him and flagging his videos.
And he actually had some good things to say. He wanted to say good things about Nintendo. That was
Yes, he did. And the thing is, Nintendo decided to say, "Fuck you! You put our stuff up, so fuck you. We're screwing you over."
Now, to remind everyone, the Nintendo's thing is that they want, if you want to post videos featuring their games, you have to sign up through their creator program,
Only if you're making money off
and
them.
only if the video is all monetized.
Yeah.
If you're not monetized, they don't see you as a threat. They will not put a cease and desist on your videos.
They do not see you as a threat.
Well,
It sounds like they're
But-
putting him on a hit list.
The thing is that irks me is that I know people who post Nintendo videos left and right who I'm pretty sure are not part of the Nintendo creator list.
They are only targeting him because he's big.
He's big. So is Chugga Conroy, and I'm pretty
Yes.
sure he's not
Well,
on there.
I don't know about
Well, not just that, but I do recall that the Runaway Guys recently did a brawl tournament featuring a bunch of other YouTubers, and those matches, I don't recall whether or not they were monetized or not, but I do know that they went up without a hitch and they haven't been taken down.
Yeah.
So if they were not monetized, then they didn't have a problem to begin with. If they were monetized, then there is a question of, has Nintendo gotten around to it, or did the Runaway Guys sign up with the creator program? I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, the biggest thing about that is that a lot of people are still not happy with this. We're going to see if Nintendo does a 180 as far as this is concerned.
Nintendo really has been good about backpedaling their shit.
If they do screw something up, they do backpedal. And
They haven't yet.
they haven't yet.
But to be honest,
And it's been a couple of months now.
yeah,
We'll see.
But I mean,
We'll see.
it takes a couple of months before it actually takes hold. I would give it 6 to 9 months before an official statement is issued.
Yeah, that's still making me wonder if we should ever actually do a Nintendo game for a Let's Play.
Remember, it only applies if we're monetizing the videos.
Yes.
Well, we'll find out.
All
We'll see.
right. In movie news, guess what's coming to the big
God
screen,
damn it.
guys?
God damn it.
Five
Son of a
Nights at Freddy's.
Son of a bitch.
Yes.
Well,
It's gotten
more like
picked-
the son of Scott Cawthorne, because he went ahead and talked with Warner Brothers Studios, and these guys are coming to the big camera screen in your theater near you.
I want to see this movie.
I am terrified to see this movie.
I'm
Because
excited.
it might be shit.
I'm excited to see the reaction videos, regardless.
Okay, again, what I have said before about media still stands here. If it's good, I'm okay with it. But they're doing a video game movie about the biggest breakout game in the most recent years, Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm kind of scared to see what they're going to do with this.
To be fair, they didn't. Disney did not fuck up Wreck-It Ralph.
Disney didn't fuck up Wreck-It
That
Ralph.
being said,
That's fine.
Whoever is in charge of Pixels did.
Yes. And we also have stuff like Uwe Boll. If they get this guy, I think I'm going to walk out before I even...
Uwe Boll is not with Warner Brothers.
Okay, good.
Uwe Boll is an independent.
Okay, thank God.
And
Okay,
he's a
in
much
that
smaller
case,
fish.
in that case.
He's a much smaller fish, but that doesn't mean they still can't fuck it up either way.
Yes.
So I can
Video
understand.
game movies have been fucked up in the past.
Is it
Mario
weird?
Brothers.
Is it weird to
Especially
say that I
Mario.
actually didn't mind it? I actually find it kind of interesting. I found the Mario
What?
Brothers movie fascinating.
You really must be a
What?
masochist to find that fascinating, man.
The thing is, you don't look at it as a Mario Brothers movie.
How the fuck do you not look at that as a Mario Brothers movie?
You don't. Trust me.
That's like saying you do not.
Give it a try. I dare you to give it a try. Don't see it as Mario and Luigi. Just think of it as two guys with the same names.
That's like saying you. That's like saying inviting Hitomi Tanaka out to dinner and saying that you see her as a woman with a great personality.
Oh God!
I'm pretty sure shots were fired. I'm just not sure in which direction.
You also don't know what kind of shots, by the way.
Yes.
I am really surprised Tumblr hasn't gotten on our ass.
Anyway, but yeah, that's coming out. That's a project near you. In the smaller screen, however, we're not done with Naruto yet, unfortunately. Naruto's son, Bolt, gets his own goddamn movie.
Bolt, aka Boruto, and I am already bored of this shit.
Well, it also gives us the opportunity to cameo our previous main character and his brand new abilities and personality, which hopefully took an improvement.
Yeah, no.
But it's also an opportunity for a fresh start on the Naruto franchise.
No! We do not need a fresh start on this shit! We put up with it for the past, 10 years?
Again, if they do it right, that's a different story.
No!
Well, they They started going to...
Even freaking Kishimoto puts a message in the official release, which it says it's coming out in Japan on August 7th.
Mm-hmm.
He says, quote, this Boruto movie features all new characters, everything starting from zero. It only exists in my head, me being the original creator. I created the screenplay all by myself, provided the ideas for design, etc., etc. Here's the Naruto movie, the last Naruto movie Here's the Naruto movie I really want to make. One last word. Now I can't draw anything more than this. I hope that he's a man of his word with this.
I hope he actually starts doing something else, because I would like to see him do a different manga.
Not related to this.
Yes! I'd like to have him do a completely new story, because Naruto at the beginning was actually pretty good.
Yes, and there was a reason why we were fans.
But when it got to the first Sasuke arc for the next 2 years...
Funnily enough, Sasuke became the single most popular character in the Naruto franchise.
And I am...
Because he's essentially Japan's version of Edward What's-His-Face.
Edward Cullen.
There you go. I don't even
There
know
you
his
go.
last name because I'm so pissed off.
We both have the misfortune of reading the Twilight series.
Yeah.
You know what? If there's anything I'm glad I didn't do for Lent, it's that.
You don't do that for Lent.
Didn't you say you were going to read 50 Shades?
Yeah, again, I'm glad I didn't do that. But I digress. So that's coming out in Japan August 7th. Translation fan dubs will probably be coming over shortly thereafter.
Although I'm still waiting for fan translation for the latest Persona 3 movie. I'm not getting that anytime soon.
Good luck.
Right.
Let's go on to some more video game related news. Dark Souls 2 fans are going to be very happy with this one. The next series of online adjustments are going to include patching out the durability bug.
Which means if you're whacking a corpse, it will no longer drain your freaking, what's it called?
Durability.
There we go.
Which will suck if you're trying to unbreak Samtier's spear.
But it will make it a lot more...
But for everything else, it's an improvement.
Yes.
Yes.
There's also supposed to be some patches regarding a glitch where the summon signs don't appear for the Throne of Want fight series.
Okay.
Patches where the blood replays continue to play repeatedly, and some minor fixes to the X-Bone version because the X-Bone needs fixing again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? I forgot to mention this on how our week was. As soon as we finished recording Dark Souls, I got a free 1 month online subscription to the Xbox. And so I decided to get all the DLC for Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2.
Okay. I want to propose... If you're still around, viewers, and you're still listening, I want to propose this to you. Do you want to see us do the DLC?
Keep in mind, it's going to be as New Game Plus.
Yes, and it will be a blind run. Please, if you are still here, leave a comment. We'd love to hear it. We'll see what we can do based on those words.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright then, so other than that, what else is up with Dark Souls?
That's about it as far as Dark Souls. There was some exclusive stuff for weapons, but they were really shitty. only available for the PS4, Xbone, and PC versions.
Oh yeah,
The Forlorn set.
the Forlorn set, which is shite.
Yeah, wasn't that really impressive? So we can move on from that. The next thing, mark your calendars. April 23rd, Conquer is going to come back.
Wait, what?
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
No,
Oh.
Conquer's big reunion. Which
It looks just about as nasty
more details came out. So, the Project Spark that debuted back at E3 last year isn't actually a game. What it is it's software, and it's a creation suite that basically allows you to go ahead and make games.
So it's like an engine?
Yes, and Conker's Big Reunion is going to be an episodic 3D platformer, which is based off of this engine.
The problem is, it's going to be on the Xbone.
Xbone only is an episodic platformer game, and considering the cost of $4.99, I'm very concerned with how this is going to turn out.
Same here. Because I have nothing to say other than, what the fuck, Xbox? You've really ruined me.
That being said, the premise is supposed to be that Conker's Big Reunion takes place 10 years after the original Bad Fur Day / Live and Reloaded port for Xbox. It's going to go ahead and supposed to have the same tone and antics as the M-rated Legend. I have yet to see anything more than fart jokes, so I'm not entirely convinced that we're going to go back to the same era.
By the way,
we'll see.
Do you guys want to possibly play like Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie from the Xbox Live Arcade?
It's a possibility. I
It
wouldn't
is a
mind
possibility.
I wouldn't mind it, but we'd have to see for what the next play is going to be.
Comments, people! Comments!
Okay.
We live on them. Okay, so what else is next? Ah!
Now this got my blood pumping!
Go ahead,
Bravely
fellas.
Second.
Yes.
Debut's second trailer.
And good God, this latest trailer. As Polygon put it, J-pop and spaceships.
J-pop and spaceships.
But it's good J-pop, people.
Okay,
It's J-pop rock.
It was an anime opening to go ahead and rule anime openings.
Yes. Serious.
Spaceships, new heroes, Tiz being made into Raiden from Revengeance.
yeah.
He was kept in a freaking healing chamber from Dragon Ball Z.
Actually,
with the freaking one eye patch like Revengeance Raiden.
well, no, his hair was just covering his eye.
No, it looked like it was a freaking patch.
Well, he was wearing a mask.
yeah, exactly, like Raiden.
Yeah.
So I am very interested to find out what the fuck is going on in this new world.
It
We
is
do,
ours.
we do have there's a lot of new characters hinted at, including including older variants of Idea and Anye. And was that freaking Juliana younger?
No, I don't think it was.
If it is,
It might have been.
if it fucking is, holy shit! What is this?
It's probably not that. I'm willing to bet it's probably either his disciple or his son.
How fucking far into the future is this game?
2 years, I believe.
If it's 2 years, I'll forgive it. If it's 200 years, I am calling bullshit. Because we've already seen the non-aging factor in a previous Final Fantasy game.
As well as Golden Sun.
That was utter bullshit.
Well, on top of that, there's also there is a distinct lack of ring a bell, which disturbs me.
Although Adia was holding his book.
And there's also
A new antagonist.
new antagonists. But
Two
I
new
was going to
antagonists.
bring up the fact that Magnolia seems to have, well, from what was hinted at in the Bravely Default hidden movie, she seems to have a lot of his flair.
Yeah.
So she might be the stand-in for Ring a Bell. And she's female.
Which makes me to bring a question.
Aye.
Remember the thing that made Fire Emblem Awakening so awesome?
Which
the
was?
shipping.
Which was the shipping, which allowed you to go ahead and bring your children
Oh.
into the game. And remember that Ring a Bell, spoiler alert, has a specific hiccup when it comes to alternate dimensions.
Yeah.
So
And-
imagine what happens if his, say, hypothetical daughter were to inherit this same work, shall we say? Are you getting what I'm saying?
Oh dear.
She's technically called the Ball Buster.
That's right.
Which is based on these monsters that you can fight in the village called balls. Which they are really kind of freaky looking.
They are freaky looking. They are awesome.
One's a wedding bird, the other one's a Japanese party fish.
And they're both insane.
And they have some of the creepiest music I've ever heard in a battle.
Could you imagine?
La la.
Okay, we don't need to sing it.
Can you imagine how powerful the child of the world's greatest Templar and the world's greatest Dark Knight would be?
Holy shit. Oh, and spears are back. And they look like they're going to be awesome as well.
Yeah.
And
also, we gotta look at our villain, our potential villain.
I hope this guy is...
Who
he
has-
looks like he could be an amazing fleshed out villain, just from his looks alone.
Who has a at least in a few frames of the video, a particular fairy on his shoulder.
Yeah, we remember something pretty nasty going on with the fairy in the last one, but that might be spoiler territory.
Yes, it is. Moving on.
If you guys want to hear more about me gushing about Bravely Default, check out my review of it. It's in our channel.
Yes. But the one thing I'm looking forward to seeing is explanation for the existence of Bravely Second.
Yeah.
Because spoiler alert. Can we go ahead and do the spoiler alert? Because it's really impossible to explain the reason for the questionability of Second's existence without explaining the spoiler.
It's been a year, I'm pretty sure.
So the spoiler is that near the end of the game, you have to, in order to go ahead and confront the final boss, you basically have to destroy all the worlds that your games are connected to.
Well, you don't destroy all the worlds, you destroy their connection.
The connections, which basically, in the game's own mechanics, prevents the multiverse theory.
Yeah.
In a sense.
And prevents the big baddie from doing what he was trying to do.
Which in the epilogue of the game confirms to be true.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bravely Second does not have this.
No, it's probably going to be more traditional RPG, and I'm feeling a bit of.
So how the fuck does this work?
With the whole spaceships on the moon thing, I'm feeling more Final Fantasy IV with this one.
I was getting Xenogears from this, man. What the fuck?
I've never played Xenogears!
Or Xenosaga.
Okay, Xenosaga.
Xenosaga I played.
Okay.
I still need to play Xenogears, god damn it.
Okay, we could go on about this. There's so much speculation just from this trailer alone.
But there's more speculation to go on.
Oh
Yes.
god.
Project Cross Zone 2 is in development.
Oh boy.
That sounds like fun.
Well, it would be fun if the combat wasn't utter shite.
Ooh.
Like-
So
like-
you played
I played Project Cross Zone, and I've gotten 20 chapters in, and let me just say, it gets stale after that far.
Really?
I think that the point that I stopped was right as soon as I entered the Tales of Vesperia chapter.
Well, you kind of have a thing against the Tales series.
Here's the thing. I still haven't unlocked the main cast yet.
Wait, what?
I still haven't unlocked the entirety of the main cast yet. I still have, I think the walkthrough said I have another 10 chapters to go before I get the entire party, and that's not counting the freed villain to cross over to your side eventually.
Have you gone through like the Xenosaga arc?
I'm trying to remember.
Cosmos and Telos?
Yeah, I encountered Telos in one of the earlier. She was the boss for she was the boss for the Dead Rising stage.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, in the games, when you encounter her and you see Telos' position at the time, it does, but it's still weird because you don't see. I don't think you see Cosmos for a while.
What the hell is the body of Mary Magdalene doing? A bunch of zombies. Oh wait, that's religion in general.
Anyway,
But anyway, among there is a new addition to the roster, and that is Yakuza badass Kazuma Kiryu, along with his crazier buddy Goro Majima from the Dead Souls spin-off.
oh boy. So we're going to see a lot of colorful characters, but you're looking forward to seeing whether or not they revamp the
Because the main thing
game itself.
So the main thing about the combat is it's strategy RPG style, except when you actually attack. because that's actually done through a button combo, a system where you basically have to juggle the foe to deal massive damage to the opponent, and there really isn't much. There isn't really much strategy to it. The strategy comes in placing your units and using their abilities prior to attacking, but not much strategy when you're attacking.
So
You start off with 3 moves and a super move when you start the game, and you don't get more moves until 5 levels in for each character pair. So it's really meticulous, really hard to grind. So unless they go ahead and change it so that it's more, I would say, Final Fantasy tactic style or something the like, it's not. I'm probably not going to pick this one up, even if the fan service gets better.
You know what Nintendo needs to do? They need to do another tactics game. I miss those games.
The Final Fantasy tactics games are, I think, one of the better parts of the Final Fantasy franchise.
Even though A2 was basically a fan win.
A2 was fine as far as I'm concerned.
What I didn't like about it was the whole cameos from Final Fantasy 12.
That's a minor thing compared to like.
But the thing is, they chose the characters I didn't care about, Vaughn and Pinello. They chose the shit characters. Why couldn't it have been Ash or Balthier?
They got El Cid.
I don't know who the fuck El Cid is.
Okay, let me put it to you this way: El Cid is would be my cousin from Avarice, Avalis, basically. If he got superpowers from being surrounded by Vera. His entire moveset surrounds him on gaining buffs determined to the number of female characters in the active party.
Wow!
And in the fight upon which you encounter him, he is surrounded by 5 Vera.
Ooh, shit.
So he's the Hugh Hefner of the game.
Oh, man.
Oh, dear God.
Well,
because he is surrounded by bunny girls.
moving on from that.
All right.
Next. Monster Hunters news again.
Yeah.
Yes. And
but
I
this
think
time,
this one's actually quite cute.
Yes.
it's cute, and it's a Monster Hunter RPG.
Which is interesting, considering that Monster Hunter usually stands out in the fact that it's not an RPG.
It's not. It's usually a grind fest.
You say it like that, but
More like an action hunting game, I would say.
it is a hunting game, but it's hunting done right, I would say.
Yeah.
But here we have adorable RPG friendliness.
Yes.
Friendliness,
While you ride a Rathalos.
That looks fun.
which looks badass.
Yeah.
I've been riding Rathalos a lot lately. They're not fun. They're not fun. I tell you, they suck. But anyway,
But then
I don't
you
want to
haven't
rant
ra-
on that.
But then you haven't raised the Rathalos as your own.
That's true. And I do know that they have been raised as pets in the past.
So this is really interesting because of the fact that not only is this a different genre for the game, but it's also a different art style.
Yes.
And that says a lot about a game when you have a change in the art style.
Yeah.
And I am looking forward to seeing what they do with this. If they make a good RPG. I mean, the Monster Hunter has been excellent on their mechanics.
Yeah. And, you know what? I actually do kind of like spin-off games if they're done right.
Yeah, the Mystery Dungeon series from Pokemon.
Oh, yeah. I love those. Oh, God. I actually need to finish playing my... Yeah, I started replaying the Blue Rescue Team.
Oh, yeah.
I need to finish that. Damn it.
That you do.
I have too many games I need to replay.
Anyway.
When is it supposed? It's supposed to come out next year. It says.
Yeah, next year, but we don't know exactly when it's coming out.
It's scheduled for 2016, so expect it.
2016 in Japan. So
Expect it.
anytime, possibly in the near future from that, for a United States release.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're the
Okay,
time,
so let's go ahead and move on to some Smash news. We got some Smash news on the board.
Okay.
Well, this is more,
Smash speculation, but it's still something that's worth bringing up.
although we aren't going to dedicate an entire 20 minutes to it like I know Game Explained did.
Okay, so in short, some hackers broke open the game files again, and they found Street Fighter audio.
Well, not just Street Fighter audio. They found voice clips of Roy, who of course was in Melee but never appeared again.
Right.
We of course have the official release of Mewtwo, who's now available for the DS and the Wii U version.
But
If you pay for it.
if you have both the DS and the Wii U version, if not, you're going to have to wait a few weeks before they can release Mewtwo.
But they also have the they also allegedly found audio of Ryu in the game.
Now, one thing I am kind of worried about is I don't know if they're planning on bringing him in as a playable character or as an assist trophy.
That's a very good question.
Yes, it's because it's possible to have the audio there, but to have him as an assist as opposed to a playable character. And you've also mentioned before that Ryu has been in quite a few different crossovers as well.
Since the early '90s, he's been in everything from Street Fighter versus X-Men, Marvel vs. Capcom's 1 through 3, Capcom versus Tatsunoko, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and the yet to be announced Tekken Cross Street Fighter.
They went one way, might as well go back the other.
Well, they were supposed to. That was the deal. They were going to make games for one another, but only one has completed the deal. The other one hasn't yet. And the other one being Namco Bandai.
Really? Namco hasn't finished it?
No, it's, Capcom did their half of the deal, which came out with the utterly atrocious Street Fighter vs. Cross Tekken.
Really? It was bad?
Yeah,
It was bad.
it was bad. It was mean-tastic in the fighting game community. But again, the worst one was the fact is that Namco Bandai hasn't finished their part of the deal. So that is yet to be seen. But yeah, Ryu's already been in a lot of fighting games, so it would be really odd to put him in this series of all things.
Yeah, though heaven knows, we know his moveset.
I mean, it would work, obviously. I don't think there's a problem with it not working.
Yeah,
It'd just be, he's already been in so many, and this would be a very
This would
odd
just be
place. This would be an odd place compared to all the other games he's debuted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ryu fighting a Pikachu.
That would be amazing, especially to see him suplexed by Bowser. It would be like watching a fire-breathing Zangief.
That's a thing, you know that, right?
Oh my god, it is!
Mecha Zangief in, I think it was the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 variant, had a Fire Breath Super. The mecha form of Zangief, yeah.
Oh, I'm
And
gonna
also,
put
yes,
this on
there was
my
a
own
mecha
time.
form, yeah.
Oh, dear God.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, the other thing is that Nintendo opened a ballot. So,
I mean,
God knows what's going to come out.
theoretically, anyone who Nintendo can get the license to is up for season.
I heard that Microsoft is up for having Banjo and Kazooie being in Smash.
I'm calling bullshit on that one.
I saw that on the
They
Escapist.
hate Rare.
Well, I mean, I heard that on the Escapist News.
I know, but I mean, Microsoft has never done anything good for Rare. I mean, even now with freaking
Conquer.
the Conquer, I don't think that's going to come out very well.
And also, that's another reason why all the old Rare executives got out of Rare and decided to make their own game company, and are now making their own game, Project Ukulele.
Right.
which looks like it's going
Which
to be
looks
amazing.
better.
Looks
So I don't think that this is going to end up well for Microsoft.
yeah. Well, Project Ukulele is done by the original people.
Exactly.
It's the original cast. It's the band's back together.
The actual band, not just the corporate owners who are trying to masquerade the band.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so,
So, lastly on the roster before we go into Ravenloft, we have some very interesting news.
you know, back in the day, Pokemon used to be the big one. The number one thing. There was no franchise that could ever come up and actually challenge this thing. Until something happened in Japan, and we got something called Yokai Watch.
Which looks like. How would you describe it?
It's Saturday morning cartoon Pokemon. Off-brand Pokemon. If that's how many U.S. people would see this.
Yeah.
However, this is so popular that this outpaced the Yokai Watch 1 came out the same time as Black and White and outsold it in Japan.
Wow.
Holy shit. And consistently Yokai Watch 2 outperformed, I think it was X and Y, because I think they came out at the same time.
Wow.
Holy shit.
So now Yokai Watch 3 is going to make a US debut.
And-
Why? Because it takes place in that world's USA.
It takes
So it takes place in Japan America.
Japan America.
Yes.
Japanica.
Japanica, just like how Phoenix
American.
Wright takes place in the United States and Japan.
Ameripan. Other ways to
The
miss.
conjunctions don't work out that well.
I know, but I can try. Damn it.
Right.
But yeah, I am very curious about this. I don't know much about the series, but I'm always willing to try something new.
I saw the yokai in it, and they just look too weird for me, to be
We're
honest.
talking about. We have been in the Pokemon community for how long? And you tell me, what are the weird ones? We have ice cream cones with faces on them. Damn it!
We have a living sword that can change between a shield form and a sword form.
That is awesome.
We
what
have
about Muck?
we have Metagross, which is essentially a walking iron spider.
We have Voltorb.
It's a panzer. It's a psychic panzer.
We have Voltorb and Electrode.
We have Heatran, which I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Fuck if I know what it is supposed to look like.
I would say it's actually an embodiment of the magma core of the Earth.
Without getting
Without recapping our mythology video, gentlemen.
I was gonna
The
say
point being that we have some weird stuff in the Pokemon universe.
I was gonna say without getting existential, but fine, that serves the same point.
Yeah.
But yeah, this thing is supposed to be that good that it's outselling Japan. Whether or not cultural differences will allow it to prosper here have yet to be determined.
Yes, but the fact that it was able to do that well does beg the question, why did it do so well, and what can we expect to see once it debuts?
Well, only time will tell. So, I guess we'll go ahead and start the move into Ravenloft.
Alright. So, where do we begin?
This episode, Malistroyer.
Malistroyer. You couldn't resist, could you?
Nope.
Ah, boy. Anyway, so, right off the bat, where were we when we left off in Ravenloft?
We were in the mongrel camp.
Ah, yes. We were in the mongrel camp, and we had just survived an encounter with some ghoulies.
We survived the encounter with the rake.
Yes, we kicked the rake's asses so hard that they were forced to retreat. The mongrelmen, on the other hand, did not do so well.
We did good, they didn't.
Well, there were a lot less casualties, as it turns out, because of our efforts, but...
And thanks to some of our dice rolls.
And thanks to some of our dice rolls, yes. You and your damn lucky dice, I swear. God damn it. So, we go ahead and we rendezvous with the mongrelmen, and we start making our way to the Temple of Zakata, or whatever it was.
The House of Bones.
The House of Bones, there we go.
Yeah.
And a couple of little things happened. For one, I go ahead and use my Purify Water spell to basically turn all of the mongrelmen's water into, well...
Decent water.
Decent, potable water, which turned out to save quite a few lives. I'm actually kind of regretting that I did that somewhat. It was a good gesture, but it ended up hurting us more than helping us.
We eventually make it to the...
Well, didn't we stop first abandoned...
We eventually reach a cave.
Yeah, that's what I mean to say.
Yes, we
eventually
reached
reach
a
a cave to find shelter from a windstorm, finding an abandoned Vardo of a then dead gypsy Visan.
Who had a bunch of tarot cards laid out.
Yeah, and I forget what the exact interpretation was.
It basically came down to that a betrayal was going to happen, and that we were going to need the assistance of a Dark Lord to fight off a greater evil.
So yeah, the Dark Lord was the lesser evil in this regard.
If there was any more heavy-handed foreshadowing, I could not imagine that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the GM just kind of dropped it. It was just like a loud thunk when that plot hit.
To be fair, the whole thing when we were in the bone dungeon with the giant statue to activate it, that we all were scratching our collective heads on that one. So, yeah, to be fair, the GM was trying to make sure we don't bust our heads too hardly on that one.
Yeah, because slowing down the gameplay tends to wear down on everyone's spirits, and I recall this was a really tough session on some of us.
It was mainly tough only at one particular point, but I think we can avoid that.
Well,
But,
we'll get to that.
Well, no, we don't have to talk about it.
Well, I think we kind of can.
Well, we do.
I don't think we
Without going into...
well, we don't... Again, it doesn't really... Nothing really comes of it other than it makes an awkward jump in what happened for us, but it doesn't make sense for the story.
Fair
Okay.
enough.
But
Okay, so
anyway, so we go ahead.
While in that cave, I actually did manage to find some cold gear.
Well,
Yeah.
you found the Vistana's clothes, which you chose to wear instead of freezing your ass off.
I'd rather...
Because a certain miser decided to not buy winter clothes for the upcoming winter store.
I'm not a miser.
I was actually supposed to
Yet
be
the GM, Tails, and myself all told you to buy winter clothes, upon which you said no.
And
you
here's
said,
the
you said buy clothes. You did not say winter clothes.
Well, we said clothes either way.
Okay.
Winter was coming.
And here's the weird thing. Apparently, even though I didn't do so as well officially, apparently they ruled that I did it anyway.
Well, because you had a certain spell.
Well, I got a spell that basically made it so that I would be comfortably warm in winter weather, and that was actually the spell I was using on you, Zero, to make sure that your character didn't freeze his assets.
Yeah, which I am very thankful for.
I actually had to prepay points for it in order to get it. And I also got an interesting spell alongside it that I ended up having a lot of fun with. I now have the highest DPS out of every single character we've ever made.
Even Terrell with a freaking demon sword?
I actually outdo damage from Terrell with the demon sword.
Holy fuck.
Yes, and it's only gotten better from there. But that's jumping ahead. Continuing, after we get through the cave, after we get out of the cave and continue our journey.
We reached the House of Bones 4 days after taking shelter in the cave.
And we do have a couple of priests with us, right?
Right.
We have a couple of one asshole priest.
Well, the entire purpose of the journey is to go ahead and free the supposed opposite side to the deity that they worship. So the religion's deity and the beastmen, who believe that they can be cured by the same opposite side of the deity, are working together so that they can go ahead and create a successful rebellion.
And of course,
And let's not go ahead and spoil the obvious spoiler.
Yes.
well, yeah, but the priest did have some ulterior motives as
Yeah,
well.
well, they're asses. They're asses. They were asses to the beastmen. But
Which, upon entering the Citadel of Bones, I decided to have a little fun.
Oh, yeah.
no, actually, we did something more important first,
Oh, right, go and
which
talk about...
was we destroyed the bone. We destroyed the bone guardians that were there.
We were paranoid about the bones since our time in the, what was it?
Since we went into the Cardigan ruins, which started this whole journey.
Yes.
Yeah, we smash skeletons wherever we go now. It's kind of a weird party quirk at this point.
But
And then I also
but-
stole some ivory idols.
no, you found ivory idols behind the statues.
Yes. No.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
me and Tails' character,
You split it 5 and 5.
yeah.
You and your thieves.
So he also manages to steal, I think, like 700 gold, a mystery amulet, and a mystery potion from one of the priests.
No,
But he wants to go into further detail on this.
What happened was, the priest was kind of pissing me off at this point, so I decided to, first I asked Alba, hey, you mind if I pickpocket off this asshole?
I forget what it was exactly that I said, but
You said you'd look the other way,
yeah.
and I managed to roll almost a crit on my pickpocketing.
No, I think you did.
Oh yeah, I did roll a
You
crit.
did roll crit. That's why you got all that shit.
And then he also crit, and then this other guy crit failed to detect it.
Yeah. So
So I swiped his entire person. I was just walking by, and then
Let's see.
Yeah.
We start exploring the area upon which my character crit succeeds his search roll and finds a hidden door to a library.
yes.
Upon which we find a plethora of books, including manuals on were beasts and fiends.
Yeah. This would come into play later.
As well as a couple of other manuals, which I don't know if you guys read the GM's notes about this, included a discourse on the existence of other planes of universe.
Ah, yes, the Mandragora, right?
No, this is a separate thing.
Ah,
This
yes.
is the Mandragoran, which is essentially that universe's Encyclopedia Britannica of magic,
And demons, specifically.
and it included a survival manual for Zakatan geography, which is the land that we were in,
Uh-huh.
and perhaps most hilariously, how to bet a Hauptmann which is essentially a Harper Lee titled 50 Shades novel. Written in French.
That
man.
is so many different convoluted things that I don't know how to process it.
It was awesome, and we did in fact find great use out of the books after the session was over.
Yeah.
We
And
continue
then-
exploring the first wing of the building,
And we find a whole bunch of worms.
upon which
I set them on fire and killed them all.
I think Tails' character loses her lunch, but otherwise we suffer no repercussions.
Yeah, we didn't suffer any injuries at all, and it turns out...
Yet.
Well, from the encounter itself. The encounter.
Watch is going to be like that
That
one.
shitty grin is not pissing me off.
Watch is going to be like that X-Files episode with the cigarettes, and we'll have larvae bursting out of our chest.
Oh, that would be horrible.
That would be horrible.
But as it turns out, the worms seem to be coated in formaldehyde or some sort of flammable liquid.
Oh joy, cancer!
And we destroy... And that fire that I set to them, it completely annihilated them.
With that room easily not having anything worth of interest, we move on to the final room, which turned out to be a somewhat living quarters with two corpses, one of which holded a very odd knife.
Which you still have.
No, he
No, I
doesn't.
buried it.
I do recall this. Legend's character Alba finds the knife,
And after things
and,
go
and,
down...
and after some repeated yelling from Tails and myself, we convince you to go ahead and get the knife consecrated by the priests and eventually buried, which
Yes.
is good.
Because as it turns out in the GM's notes, since he forgot that I did this, the knife has a curse on it.
Which gives the possessor -1 to damage and a -1 to hit on anything.
That is bullshit.
I told you it was cursed.
Yeah, though that's not going to stop a curious, impulsive character. Speaking of curious impulsiveness,
So we go ahead. So we go on to move into the second wing,
The East Wing.
which appears to be a large laboratory.
Yes.
Which in the center, a giant book, a
fuck.
giant magic book,
Fuck.
upon which a certain impulsive, curious character reads the book, reads a magical side note
that
Which
says,
co-
"Hey, I learned how to make explosive trap sigils,"
which spontaneously combusts,
and sends me flying across the room.
And then
which
wakes
also activates a bone golem.
So, on top of the fact that I just got sent flying across the room
and lost nearly all your HP.
and lost nearly all my HP, we also have to fight a fucker. Which was amusing in and of itself because the guy couldn't quite put himself together.
So what happens first off is Tails' character goes ahead and tries to pick up a bone to see what it is, which unfortunately starts the bone golem to create itself. But
she
because
holds
Tails
up.
holds onto the bone, he can't form the other leg. So we have a one-legged bone golem hanging around.
Which
Leads into my first action, which I crit a staff swing on his other leg, and then re-crit to do triple max damage,
turning that bone into powder.
which turns the bone into powder, causing him to fall onto his hips, which means he has to crawl to attack any of us,
And we bash and bash and bash, and then I land the killing blow on it.
which basically makes the bone demon into a bigger pansy than the soul kraken.
That says something. Meanwhile, I'm sitting in the corner making the wheezing noises that Loki made after the Hulk beat him to a pulp.
He eventually gets healed by the group's healers, which are again the priests.
Yeah.
But he manages. We find much more interesting discovery as a result.
Yes, as it turns out, the book was a complete guide to necromancy, and even had notes on gate school spells.
As well as being 20 fucking pounds!
Yeah, I ended up giving the book to one of the mongrel men, which
To
was-
carry.
To
to
carry.
carry. I regret this.
Well, you regret this. I regret this. Everyone pretty much regrets this at a future date.
Yes.
So
Anyway,
let's move on. So
we decide to camp out for
We decide
the-
to camp for the night. With
Tails' character decides to take some of the slime from the worm area
Yeah,
and put it into the annoying fucking priest bed chamber area that they made for him.
yes. Oh, we didn't mention this,
we
but
cleared out the first area that we cleared out in the left wing was a bedroom,
and the
which
priest
which I decided to go ahead and be an ass and gave him notice of,
yes,
which consequently set up this prank for Tails.
yes, The man took the bed, and we gave him the bed and everything on it.
Yes.
Slime.
Included.
Yes,
Which-
and it stank to high heaven.
Upon which he accuses Tails of tampering with the bed, to which I thankfully come to a rating request. What do you expect of a bed that's been kept up for this many years? To which he unfortunately begrudgingly admits defeat.
Yes.
We explore the central wing, which is a bunch of empty bedrooms,
And then there's a
Which-
downstairs area.
which includes a downward spiral to a passageway.
Oh yes, we also found more of those cursed daggers, but we didn't ever touch them because we knew that was bad juju.
Well, the rest of us knew they were bad juju.
Well, I found out firsthand they were bad juju.
Well, after the fact.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, we go down the passageway. The beastmen begin to sense the spirit and get drawn towards it. We follow suit, and we end up in a giant cathedral.
This
Which-
was where shit went down.
The GM started taking out pieces to his massive playset that he really wanted to show off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was like a little kid with his new
It
toy.
really was impressive, granted.
Yeah,
It's a
it
shame
was.
we didn't stay longer than like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
We managed to do some light excavating. Tails and my character managed to find some scrolls and.
I managed to find an alternate exit through a vent, which
And
we
some
never ended
emeralds.
up using.
Well, she found emeralds and we both found scrolls.
yeah.
And you pointed out a very helpful exit, which leads into one of the more interesting debates we had at that meeting. But
That's for a little bit later.
well, what eventually happens is the priest and the mongrelmen join hands and they try to free the god, which turns out
Quote,
not to be a god, quote quote, because it is actually a demon.
and
Fiend. Oh dear God, the fiend.
So this fiend is summoned, but because of the power that binds him, isn't really able to pop out of the circle yet.
so what he does is he starts to turn the
Assimilate.
Prepare to be assimilated.
yes.
Assimilates the priest and the mongrelmen into
His being.
his own personal army, which includes the beastman who is holding the book for all of them.
Which was the first instance of us fucking ourselves.
So we go ahead and we are planning to make our escape, upon which Alba suggests to use one of the tools he has been saving for the longest time.
Air Vortex, which is basically a movement spell that allows us to basically take on vaporous forms and whisk off.
You literally become a tornado.
Yes. And
However-
Which is awesome.
However, someone missed the note about missed one of the cliff notes.
Yes, one of the cliff notes being that only 6 pounds of clothes
Or
may be
items.
carried.
clothing or items.
Clothing
clothes.
or items. Yes, the GM six pounds of item or clothing, either one. He was willing to let us choose.
Yes,
But either way, it would have fucked us over because it was winter outside.
yes, what ended up happening, the GM said this, well,
After
He's-
much kerfuffle,
the kerfuffle is the funny thing. He basically said, okay, everyone is now naked and in a tornado. To which we all said, fuck no, we're redoing this. I don't care how many plot points we have to spend for this.
We kerfuffled a lot because I was upset, Tails was upset, you were upset, and
Zero.
you were still trying to convince us to go along with this shit.
No, I wasn't convinced of that. I was just in denial, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
At that point, it was just, I couldn't believe that I had missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were like
yeah.
a Sonic fanboy trying to think that the latest Sonic game was actually good.
More like
That was a low blow.
I was gonna say more like Sonic 06 didn't exist,
Ooh.
which
Yeah.
is more honest-hearted.
Yeah.
But,
Anyway.
but eventually, he allowed us to run away normally.
Which, as it turned to be a better idea because all of the hazards that he had been planning to sick on us if we tried to run
Were
were already in
prematurely destroyed.
we had killed the skeletons in the first chamber.
and
worm-
set fire to the worms. That was it. That was the extent of the traps.
That being said, we were betrayed.
We were betrayed.
With the leader of the human priests who was leading this excavation was obviously trying to go ahead and lead a coup. Was going to use the demon's power to do so.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
He attempted to take the item that would free the demon from Tails' character.
but
Tails' character did not have it and gave it to me for safekeeping. And because the GM did not remember this transaction when he was doing this plan, incidentally groped Tails' character and got nothing for his rewards.
oh man.
So, how many times have we fucked over this priest? That was a poor choice of words.
Yes, it was. But so we escaped the House of Bones and we moved to the closest human village possible.
To which we immediately get ambushed by a whole bunch of demons.
No,
To be
that,
fair,
that
we
was
did not get ambushed.
No, that wasn't what happened. We got to the village and we explained them of the situation and told them that they need to get to the city.
Happened.
As we were escaping the town, there was a horde of demons following, and we had the option to either to continue fleeing or assist in the defense.
To which I said, "I'm staying."
Alba and I insisted we assisted the defense, much to your and Tails' chagrin.
Yeah, especially the tails.
Well, eventually, this is where the big sort of fight happened. Is that mid in the middle of this fight, because these demons were really a pain in the ass enemies.
As it turns out,
we eventually broke down and we had to take a small break from the
encounter
from the game.
to go and break down to slightly more detail, the breakdown was happening because, as it turns out, demons have a very high natural damage resistance.
and Tails' character and my character respectively.
Well, no one's character because they had natural damage resistance to everything except magic.
Which
Which
I
only-
happen to be the only one using. And
Which
capable of using.
which even then was not as effective as we had all hoped.
No, to be fair, I was doing the best out of all of us. I was. Think about it.
I'm not convinced, dude.
Okay, you were taking on one beast. And
The big beast.
The big beast.
The mid-boss.
The mid-boss. Funnily enough, he was the one carrying the book.
Single-handedly.
Single-handedly.
Yeah.
And that is
Kudos to
commendable.
you for that, sir.
But I don't think I took damage during that battle. And if I did take damage, it was negligible.
And actually, despite Tails' complaints that she wasn't doing enough damage to the demons, she actually did help me a lot because I got swarmed by about 11 of the little guys.
Right.
And I was taking on 2 of the mid-sized guys.
Right.
And somehow I actually managed to survive.
Right.
And I was actually doing pretty well.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And again, it came down to just a lot of misunderstanding, and we eventually reconciled that.
Mm-hmm.
So we...
We eventually get visited by the big boss himself.
Yeah.
He goes ahead and tries to bribe us for the amulet, which we refuse, obviously. And we eventually make it back to the big city for the final battle.
Mm-hmm. Something I should note is that during the break, we did confirm that one of my minus 20 disadvantages was a phobia of demons.
So all of Alba's... It also revealed that Alba is actually a female, despite everyone's guessing.
Yeah.
Demon went ahead and said, "Fuck you, I know you're a chick, quit trying to hide it."
Yep.
Yeah. Hello, my lady.
Ah, boy. I can still kick your ass 6 ways to Sunday.
And I can run away.
You can try.
I can hide.
You can try.
But you both can fly. Anyway, we end up getting back to the city. Everything's in panic. People are running. The priests are trying to keep everyone together.
And we're singing "It's the End of the World" as we know it.
Yeah.
We literally broke out into song in the middle of this.
We go to the temple. We go ahead and counter the traitor. We confront him. He gets stabbed by an archdemon. It's pretty funny in hindsight.
Yeah,
so
after all the stuff that he'd been doing to us and the mongrel men in general.
He gets killed pretty quickly and pretty
hilariously badly.
Yeah, pretty sad, really.
Not really.
No, I mean, it's he went like that. Like that's how quickly it would.
He should have
It's
suffered.
sad. It's sad. That's what I mean.
It's sad that he didn't suffer.
We talk with the Dark Lord again, the big priest Yagna Petrovna, and we.
Well, at first he starts monologuing.
Right, and
This town is fallen, and I have no means of being able to save it.
After a very unusual pep talk from my character, who's supposed to be not religious at all, we managed to eventually create a union to team up and help him with this.
Yeah, though I think there was one moment that was actually kind of funny. It was something that surprised the GM. Petrovna is in the middle of this giant-ass monologue lamenting the fact that he doesn't have it, and then we just go and say, you know what, we have it.
Yeah. And he's like, what? He's like, Mer?
I'm trying to remember the exact chain of events that happens. The priest, Yagna goes ahead and asks us to go ahead and round up the people to help him gain power so that he can, so that we can use the tool to seal back Malistroyer the demon.
Meanwhile, Tails' character was trying to get people to get away from it.
Simultaneously.
By possessing a priest.
And giving wrong mixed orders.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, the confusion still allows enough people to stay, to which the priest gets enough power to fight the demon, who eventually arrives to go ahead and do a Beelzebub style fight.
Which I told the GM I now have magic envy. That was awesome.
So what happens is
Legend and my characters are fighting off demon add-ons.
Yeah.
And Tara, bless her, she goes ahead and casts courage on me so that my phobia doesn't get in the way.
And then me and Chester and Tails' characters both try to put the amulet onto the altar.
Which Malistroyer continues to go ahead and prevent you from doing by first blinding the area in which the table is on.
Second, by creating a
time distortion that makes it
spatial distortion.
Spatial distortion that makes it further away than it actually is.
So, which was hilarious and awesome.
So what Tails does is she hands me the amulet and I make a break for it.
It takes about 2 or 3 attempts, but you eventually succeed.
I slam the amulet into the pedestal and it works.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was your big crowning moment, I'd say. You struggled so bad. I was like, good God, he hasn't rolled a crit yet.
Because I was rolling because I was like a severe disadvantage to actually get it in there. Even I was like at a -5 disadvantage.
-4.
But still, that's still pretty bad.
No, not really. Considering you had a higher, it was again like a 40% chance of success. It wasn't that bad.
I know, but I was getting frustrated.
You were getting frustrated because you were under pressure.
Yeah.
Yes. Because every time it comes down to you, you get super anxious, and that's when your rolls start to fuck up.
Yeah.
But
thankfully, my rolls managed to save me.
We succeed. We get rewarded. Unfortunately, part of Lou's inspiring speech to Yagno offended him, so the party gets kicked out of town 2 weeks later.
Yes, we do. Though not before he does reward us
with about 50K worth of golden equipment, which we out of session got requisized from the GM, and a passage back to the core where we need to be.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and start talking about our loot.
Let's keep it short because if I actually go into my list, we're not gonna stop for another 20 minutes.
Okay.
So let's make it brief.
Okay, so what I asked for was a cloak of invisibility.
Which you actually got.
Yes!
And it was because of this cloak that the GM said, I don't want to shortchange everyone else. Everyone gets
the equivocal amount of that cloak, which was just under 50K.
Here's what the cloak does. I have to still cast like 5 points to...
It takes 5 FP for you to use it, but it makes you permanent. It makes you invisible for a minute.
Yes. But... usually it takes like 3 or 4 rounds for invisibility to normally activate.
If I were to learn invisibility, I would have to take those 3 rounds, 3 seconds of doing nothing to actually cast it. You, on the other hand,
can do it in 1 second.
You take 1 second of concentration, you're fucking visible.
And I can either use it for my HP or my FP.
Well, you have to use in order for you to use it from your HP, you have to drain all your FP first. That's a rule that we learned from...
Objection. We actually retconned that rule after finding that it was in fact the way that I had said it originally.
Oh, well, shit, then he has to go... he doesn't put out rulings fast enough for me to update them.
Yeah. Anyway, other than that, what I actually stole from the priest was a nice little amulet that gives me an extra DR to my entire body.
Which was
freaking spectacular.
So-
You needed that.
Yeah, so basically, this skinny little cat-like thief now has the equivalent of wearing full plate armor.
Light plate armor. not
Light
full
plate armor.
Yes, which is what I'm wearing all the time.
But it's
So-
much lighter.
But yours is much lighter. Yes.
In addition, Legend.
Okay. In addition, I also got an enchanted thing. I added one more, well, technically two more enchantments to my sword. One that allows me to have a bonus to parries, which ended up being very beneficial to the sword because I can now get the sword to fight without my help.
You now have a living sword, much like Terrell.
No. Taro's sword cannot move on its own. Someone has to pick it up before it can possess them. I, on the other hand, have a magic sword, which I can send out and abracadabra its way into chopping the opponent into little bitty pieces from 5 yards away. And then I can call it back.
Nice.
I can tell it to guard people's backs. And it'll do that for me.
But only if you say it so specifically.
I unfortunately have to be extremely specific about it. It's the GM's warning, and it's a good thing I asked him about it. But this sword has a lot of applications. And yeah, I can see myself actually using the sword to, in the rounds that I'm not actually doing anything while casting magic, I can send the sword out for the first second, cast some magic, and then when the magic is done, call the sword back, and then we take full advantage of the magic.
So, like, you could have yourself, like, say, sword, protect me while I'm casting magic.
Sword, protect me from anyone who tries to attack me from casting while I am casting this magic, then return.
Yes.
And it will. And after which, I can now use any one of my brand new skills, which are all spells,
Of course.
and they include the ability to fly at 80 miles per hour.
Unfortunately, if you do use that, you will die.
Well, there are chances that I will die, but there are some incredible applications, such as the fact that that one suicidal attack outdamages every single one of the characters up to date, period.
And if I recall, it does 5d plus 5 damage to you.
6d of damage of impaling to the opponent.
So just grab a handful of dice and let it fly.
Yeah, basically.
But
But of course, 80 mile per hour car accident. Without a car. I'm a human bullets.
Yeah,
That is-
and I'm going to see Alba go ragdoll.
No, you're gonna see Alba go splats.
Okay, and
But yeah, this does have a lot of applications, and I'm looking very much forward to applying it in the next battles.
shame you can't just like make a vase and accelerate it to 80 miles an hour.
I can, in fact, do something like that, though that would require a separate skill for bombing. I can use kinetic energy to cause things to go.
Boom. Boom. Nice.
Yes.
All right, and Leo, what did you get?
a lot of armor, enchantment for a new shield, some new equipment, and that's about it.
Yeah, I think in general you were aiming for like tankierness.
Kind of. I got a bunch of upgrades that I kind of wanted, and that made me a little bit lighter, a little bit faster, a little bit better. So.
Yeah, I recall you enchanted some boots so that they could help you.
Oh yeah, and I did get I get some speed enchanted boots that let me take one more step in the same move.
And you get a +3 to dodge, if I'm not mistaken, or a +1 to dodge.
I don't think the dodge is included in the enchantment.
It is. If it's proper haste, then it does include a
Okay,
dodge.
then I'll need to confirm that with the GM the next time I talk with him. But yeah, that's not what the enchantment said.
Well,
but
definitely
I'll
confirm
talk
it.
with him.
Because if it's proper haste, then you're definitely going to see the best
Okay.
enchantment.
Well, we will see.
All right, so do we know what's going to happen to our main characters now?
Nope, because the GM left us on a cliffhanger.
Officially. Unfortunately for the GM, he made a mistake midnight last night.
And because Legend is a curious little fuck.
And because I received the letter and opened it way before he could send out the message saying, please delete the previous message.
He sent it in 2 minutes!
Yes! And I was awake in those 2 minutes. So I opened it.
And so, where are we heading, Legend?
Some were civilized.
Yay!
Some were very civilized, I think.
Can you tell us?
It was not a lot of detail. It was purely a picture. It was 2 pictures. That was included in the email. And from that, I could only get a name. Which I do have.
You saved it.
I did not delete it. I can't forget it. As much as I try. But I still have it. And yeah, I can say that it is interesting. It looks something a lot like Belgium.
I know you can't see us right now, guys, but I'm abstaining my head away from Legend's iPhone.
I'm sorry.
He is trying not to infringe upon it. I don't know what's going to happen when we get there, though. I have no idea what's going to happen. Even with the Malistroyer incident, we had some idea that we were going to head to.
There was a fucking what's it called? A fucking foreshadowing that was as broad as day.
Yeah.
Broad as day, but we still had no idea. We thought we were heading to Azteca. And
That was my speculation, and that was
I put
before-
away the image so you can open your eyes now, damn it.
No, I would watch me open my eyes, and you have it right in my face.
I may have developed trollish tendencies, but I'm not that big of a troll.
Yeah.
Yet is the key word.
You
for
need another
control.
year of exposure to me before you start getting that dickish.
Actually, I've been suppressing a lot of the trollish tendencies. Anyway,
Nevertheless, what's on the channel?
Again, another week and an extra day of Dark Souls coming up.
yes.
And other than that, we're kind of figuring out what we want to do for our next LP, so it's the Poison Type. Oh, god damn it, the Poison Type review. Well, I had it recorded.
And now we need to re-record it.
Yes, because apparently I sounded like I was on Quaaludes.
Ben-Hur was more enthusiastic at this topic.
So yeah, I'm busy rewriting the script, trying to add more rage. You two can expect an email with that script to say if it needs more rage.
Yay.
So once that's done, I will record it, I will edit it, I will post it, and we can shut up about this and we can start working on Legends video.
Joy! Normal types.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking say it. Normal types.
Well,
I'm doing fucking normal types.
Good luck making that interesting.
I didn't know fucking normal was a type.
Well, you seem to bring that up in pretty much every single discussion with them. Never mind, not gonna say it.
So, this is Death Zero.
Leo Farce.
And Legend Hunter, signing out.
Later, guys.
Ciao. I fucking said it this time and you're not stopping me.
Bye.